YouTube fan? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another video, man. And today I got a special one for y'all. I want to talk about a city, man, that I got a lot of love for. I'm not from this city, but I actually got a lot of love for this city. This city has took over the world in the last few years. We're gonna talk about Chicago, Illinois, Chi-Town, and how it became from Chicago to Chiraq. Now, Chicago always been a bustling city. They always had dope sports teams. They got a lot of talent that came from that city. People like Kanye, a lot of artists, a lot of politicians, But Chicago has also been a gangster city from the days of Al Capone, stuff like that. But back in the days, I heard Chicago was kind of one of the most racist places, believe it or not. Dr. Martin Luther King said even being in the South, he was able to overcome and stay outside when things went crazy, when things went left, when they came with the hoses and stuff like that. But he said when he went to Chicago, he just couldn't take it. You got a lot of pillars of the community, a lot of people that stand up for Chicago. You got great people, you got basketball players. Barack Obama spent time there. He became who he was from Chicago and being around the people. You got great comedians like Bernie Mac, you know what I mean? Great basketball players like Dwayne Wade. You feel me? Rest in peace, Bernie Mac, man. That's one of my favorite comedians, you know? And you also got the new generation of people that's showing love for Chicago, that's making names for themselves, that's out here putting on for their city. So it's a beautiful city, man. From what I hear, it's not all bad as people try to make it be. But in this video, I want to tell y'all what I think how Chicago became Chiraq. Now, this is my opinion. We're going to leave it at that. But a lot of the gangsters, a lot of the gang chiefs, when they lost their life, when the feds swooped in and snatched everybody up, because when you think about it, the gangs didn't start out so violent. They started out trying to help their community, trying to put their community on, trying to show people, hey, man, if we stick together, we powerful. You see what I'm saying? We could do what we got to do and get these people off our neck because people felt depressed. A lot of gangs start like that, but somehow they go the wrong way. Larry Hoover, the chairman, for y'all that don't know who that is, Gangster Disciples chairman, should I say, he was one of them guys, they said when he talked, people would still, people shut up. Like it could be 2,000 people making an uproar, but when he came and he put his fingers to his lip and told them to be quiet, they always gonna be quiet. So that was a lot of power. And you gotta think about it, the feds always peep stuff like that. They don't want people having that much power. So even if you're not a criminal organization, unfortunately, when you're an African American with that kind of power, that scares them. And they don't want nothing to do with that. You feel what I'm saying? But let's talk about the switch. After all these chiefs was indicted and locked up, and then you had the new generation, the new wave came in. Shout out Sosa when the drill music came in, when the gangs ain't have no structure no more, when they tore down their projects. Then you got places like O Block, you know what I mean? Places like 63rd where Duck and them from. And I feel like these young men, they ain't know nothing but violence and survival. The gang showed them love. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of these young men come from broken homes, just like my city. That's why I rock with Chicago, because it remind me of my city, minus all the gang activity. But so when they go to these gangs, it show them love. So they feel like that's their family. So just like anybody else, you'll do anything for your family. As I was doing this video, I realized how many people passed away from this city. How many people that I watched since the drill scene first started, that I listened to their music. I feel like I watched Shorty and them grow up via YouTube. I mean, I don't know none of these dudes personally. Let's get that out there. But you know how you watch somebody and you rooting for them on the sideline. You like, man, I hope bro make it. A lot of these young guys gone, dead or in jail. But I feel like the music had something to do with it. Of course, I'm not going to blame it all on drill music. But when Chief Keef came out and he had that different kind of vibe, and you had Duck in them, you feel me? You had Lil Mister in them. You had a lot of people like JoJo in them. When they came out, it added fuel to the fire. From what I hear, these young guys was already fighting. they was already going to each other neighborhood, knuckling up. They said the guns came out a little later. But when the guns came out, once that blood shed, as I hear blood been shed in Chicago, but they said it got real bad. You feel me? But when somebody take one of your loved ones, of course you gonna want retaliation. You gonna want to do something about it, or you gonna feel weak. And I feel like that's what happened. So now it's tick for tack. Every time they drop one, we gotta drop three. They drop three, we gotta drop four. And that's how it go. And it's a vicious cycle. And I don't think that cycle will never end. And you got cities like this across America, not just Chicago, not just Baltimore, not just Detroit. You got Miami, you got Atlanta. It's a lot of great people from these places that can do a lot of good. But I feel like some people scared of their own people. They don't want to come back because they terrified. They petrified, even though they came from these same neighborhoods. Once you get a certain level of success, I feel like people start judging people and looking down on people. Now, Chiraq was the name given to them after 1 year. It was said they had more bodies than Iraq, and that's when the war was going on, the real life war. So that's a lot, you see what I'm saying? A lot of people lost their life. A lot of these young dudes don't even be 18. You feel me? Like they be young, they be super young. Like L.A. Capone, you feel me? Like JoJo. JoJo was a baby. Like when he was laying up in his casket, when that video hit the internet, I'm like, bro, young. Like he young as hell. You know what I mean? So I just feel like at this point in Chicago, a lot of people trying to go back to calling it Chicago, they kind of at a good space. I mean, they lost a lot of people, a lot. So it's like now, where do they stand? You got FBG Duck gone, rest in peace. King Von gone. Man, they even killed Zack TV. Zack TV, I looked up to Zack because I feel like Zack made a way out of no way. He picked that camera up, he did his thing. I even picked the camera up for a minute. And Zack better than me because I can interview people, but my trust level ain't there to go to different hoods and interview all these people. It ain't that I'm scared because I'm from that environment, but people just be on some other type time. Y'all see what happened to Zack. You know what I mean? And revenge in Chicago is a must from what I see. It's like they gonna get you. Like if you say something in a song, you do a diss track, or you disrespect somebody, they coming for you. Now Chicago, they started the whole smoking on packs, smoking on dead people. That's just what they do. It's highly disrespectful in my opinion. I wouldn't never do it. I can only imagine if somebody did that to one of my family members, how would I feel? It's bad enough y'all took his life. Now y'all disrespecting him. A lot of these young guys, man, they very talented and they smart. Like if you watch their interviews, you know what I mean? People think, oh, they savages because they put that title on themselves. But they got good heads on their shoulders. And I feel like this my word to them. And this my advice for Chicago. Me not being from that city, me just having love for that city and wanting to see them make it. Man, y'all more powerful together than y'all are apart. Just think about if all these groups say, bro, we lost enough, y'all lost enough. We gonna go ahead and click up and take this music game. Ain't nobody gonna be able to come to our city without putting somebody on a song or without, you know what I mean? They'll make a lot of money because people rock with them. Anytime Chicago is mentioned, it get millions of views no matter what, man. You see what I'm saying? Shout out SNTV. Bro took off because he from Chicago, because he was able to talk about these things firsthand, because he knows some of these people, because he was able to get interviews, because he was able to talk about Chicago, you feel me? Because people just rock with it all over the world. The whole culture. People saying ops, 30s, thoughts, that came from Chicago. I never seen the place where somebody started saying something and the whole world infiltrated. But I feel like how Chicago became Chiraq is just the music and also the OGs. When the OGs got locked up and they took them off the streets, I feel like that was a calculated plan. The government smart. They always 10 steps ahead of the people. When they did that and tore the projects down, they know this would cause chaos. You see what I'm saying? People ain't know where they fitted in at. People had to choose sides. It's a lot of these dudes that grew up with each other in the projects or in the buildings, And when they moved away from each other, they had to pick different sides. A lot of these dudes actually family members, cousins, and stuff like that. So it's real sad, you know. Like I said, I had to do a lot of rest in peace editing in this video. And it's messed up because I got a heart. I'm not one of these dudes out here trying to benefit off nobody pain. And I really feel for these families because I know this real life. I lost people. I know how I go out here. I know how the streets go, all that. You feel me? I mean, gang life is different, but the streets is the streets. Like I say, the only difference from Chiraq or Chicago from my city is they got more gangs. But other than that, man, a lot of these dudes actually became successful too. And that's the thing about it. Even though it's a lot of violence in that city, it's a lot of gangs. You know, that's part of their culture. They actually made money off this, like big money. So it's like, how do you tell somebody to stop that just made millions of dollars off talking about the same stuff? It's like a lot of people will feel like they being fake if like Durk start rapping about OTF or if he start rapping about the streets, you feel me? If Tay 600 start rapping about the streets, you know what I mean? A lot of these dudes feel like it's too late. They already in too deep. And now it's Chiraq, you know? A lot of people say it's no more Chicago, like it's just Chiraq. But in my opinion, I always wanted to visit Chicago. That's somewhere I always wanted to go. And I'm still gonna go one day, you know what I mean? I just gotta find the time because I always looked up to the Bulls, you know, I always felt like they city was dope. Like watching movies, I'm like, dang, I wanna go there, you feel me? So yeah, a lot of these young men that lost their life, man, when you think about the situation or you think about what happened or the diss song they made or the type vibes they were sending out, it wasn't even worth it. But I feel like once you in that deep, even if you don't want to be that way, it's almost like you gotta be that way. You feel me? Like rest in peace, young Pappy. Like Pappy was one of them dudes from Chicago. Like bro had that aggression, that flow. He had everything that screamed superstar. And he gone. He lost his life. Now, granted, Pappy was doing a lot. You know what I mean? He was going to his ops hood, stuff like that. It's a lot of videos. So you can't bring that kind of energy to yourself. You know, I know Chicago don't want people speaking on them. I know a lot of people from Chicago be telling people, don't speak on my city, don't speak on my city. But man, we just on the outside looking in, and we just showing y'all what we see. You know, I can speak on my city all day. It's enough violence in my city. I ain't got to never talk about Chicago. But I rock with these young men. I rock with these boys. I rock with the movement. And I want to see them win. I want to see them get on top. Rest in peace, L.A. Capone. That was one of my favorite little young rappers from Chicago. Like, that's so loud. Like, Shorty whole little CD that separate myself. I still bumped that. Like, he had a flow that was different. And he was going to make it to the top. Rest in peace, King Von. You know, Von lost his life not in Chicago, but you know, living that lifestyle and being about that life. And I feel like if the gang chief was out at this point, I don't think it'll make a difference because these young men already got their mind set up. So many blood been shed, so much blood been shed, excuse me, that even if the Chiefs was to get released today, wouldn't nothing change, in my opinion, because it's already too late. The Chiefs weren't around when these dudes was losing their life and stuff like that, when these dudes was losing brothers and cousins. So I feel like the Chiefs will still get respect in a sense because who they is, but they wouldn't be able to stop nothing, man. And a lot of these dudes, man, you know, I feel like they doing this for survival. Like, they trying to survive. They don't want to get killed in these streets. So guess what? I'm going to get you before you get me. And that's how it's going. And it's going back and forth, back and forth. And the way it's going, man, it's hard to stop. But hopefully these young guys will wake up, or get their mind right, or get themselves together and realize it's bigger than that, man. But yeah, I just wanted to show Chicago some love, man. Leave your comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell. Love, gang.